So the month is already almost over and I have not recorded a single YouTube video. I've just been too busy with my membership and getting ready for our big summer project that we're going to be working on. I'll tell you more about it later in the video. But I want to show you what I got this weekend. This weekend I was driving home and there was a sign for an estate sale in the neighborhood. So I was like, okay, I have to go stop by. So I got some really awesome stuff, and awesome stuff for me, awesome stuff for my son who's 12 years old. They had an Atari system, and so we got some vintage video games and the system, and now we have to order a part to make it work on our... Anyway, never mind about that. I want to show you what I have and show you how I'm going to use some of these things to create some really cool art. So let's head over to my desk and I will show you what I've got. So by far the coolest thing I picked up was this rotary telephone piece. The person, or actually it was the people who lived in this house, she had worked 40 years for the telephone company. And I know this because I saw a plaque on her wall congratulating her on 40 years with Pacific Bell, I think it was. And so here's the first set of things that I want to show you. I got this cutter, and I actually I'm a little ashamed to say that I went back to this sale. I went back 3 times total just to make sure that I saw it all, because there was so many things inside. And on the third day they had everything at 50% off, because at that point they're just trying to get rid of everything. So I got this for $5. It's really sharp and I just couldn't pass it up. So I don't have one of these paper cutters, and I will definitely put it to use. Now with these books, this one is very interesting. I thought, okay, so I had a look inside. This is in Latin, and it seems to be some kind of play, because I can see Act 1, Scene 2, so on and so forth. And I was looking, I got it, I brought it home. And then when I was looking inside, I was looking at this date, and it is 1757. And I was like, oh, there's no way that I can tear this up. So I guess I will just keep it on my shelf, because I'm not going to destroy it. But it's in really very good shape, besides, you know, having been eaten by some bugs a little bit up top, but pretty good for 1757. These two they're just kind of touristy postcards, things that I could tear out and use in collages, but the whole thing kind of flips out like this, and I would love to use the covers for tiny junk journals, both of these. They're such a nice pair, and I thought that it would be really cool to sew in some signatures and use them as junk journals. These are more touristy things. These are probably from the 1930s. What's really cool about this is that the colors are so vibrant in these. This one. So I know that I can use these for something. This one, Bible symbols, this is falling apart. I think I just need to glue it back together. I will scan anything in here and use it rather than tear it apart, because again, this one's pretty special. This book, it's such a weird concept. So they're images, and then you need to try and tell a story based on the images. So let's see, the grasshoppers have no something, yet they go forth, all of them by bands. The spider taketh hold with her hand, and is in something's something. So they're all from Proverbs or you know, parts of the Bible, and it's just this visual thing. But what's really interesting about it, other than the fact that there's just neat illustrations, really nice illustrations. But what's interesting about it is that they use different color inks. So we've got black, and then brown ink, purple ink, and blue ink. So bizarre, so bizarre. Copyright 1904 by Herzl, Jenkins and Company. This is such a unique find, and so this one I don't want to take apart either. I will just glue this back together and, you know, try and fix it as best as I can. It's making a mess. Now, of the books, this one is the most interesting. So they had a whole, in the kitchen, there were all these other books, cookbooks and such. And I saw this one in that bag. And the fact that somebody tried to repair the spine, not a very good, not a very effective job, but somebody tried to repair this means that it was valuable to somebody, right? And so looking through it, I see that it is somebody's very special cookbook, and it's just stuffed full of recipes, you know, stuff that's cut out, stuff from magazines, things that are written in. The spine has just totally broken, totally broken. But, you know, there's just a lot of fun stuff in here. What is this? Rye bread. Nice. Milwaukee rye bread. Potato pancakes. Cookies. Bacon cake. Whew, these people. Fruit salad dressing. Devil's food. I bet you there's something here with a gelatin mold. Dill pickles. Saccharin pickles. So there's also stuff with typing and, well, different types of handwriting. So that's interesting. I wonder who else would have contributed. Wow. So what I want to do with this is repair it in some way. I mean, I just don't have the heart to tear it up. And again, I don't want to be saving stuff that belonged to other people and putting it, you know, with my own things. But this is pretty cool, right? This is pretty cool. So I really do, I like the idea of repairing the spine, taking out some of these recipes and just making a glue book, you know, making a glue book out of all of these things. Queen Elizabeth cake. So that's the plan with this. Look, the cover already came off entirely. I need to just throw, you know, just really fix this, because this is kind of gross actually. So I will see what I can do with this. Now, the couple who lived there, he was very interested in clocks. He had this clock in his, hanging on the wall in their dining room. And this is a catalog of those clocks, the Seth Thomas movement. It's not an old book, it's from the 1980s, but there's so many images of really cool clocks in here, and I definitely can use it in collage. There's also some really interesting pieces or images of clock movements. And so these are interesting as well. I got a nice rusted tin, cupcake tin. It might be kind of nice to put some little odds and ends in here, or I might even use it for rusting with my summer project that we're going to be working on in the membership. Now I have some smaller things in here. These little guys I got for like $1 or 50 cents. Nice little linen piece here with some really pretty lace at the bottom. And these things can also be tea dyed, so that will be good. So these ones are obviously for photos. You know, you put your little Kodak photos in here. Gosh, this must have been 1940s, 1950s. They're in really pristine condition. That's why I liked them. And I already had the idea that I would stick little ink box cards in here. They're like the perfect size. I just need to put a little double-sided tape so that I can place them where I need to place them inside, and then they will, you know, perfectly sit where they're supposed to fit. So super cute. Love those. I found some of these little notebooks. Loose leaf memo. What I plan to do with this is glue a couple of pages together. The pages are pretty thin, so I think it's important to, you know, make them a little thicker, like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some papers and make a collage out of this. Something like that, right? So I'm just going to have a little glue book made from this vintage notebook. How cool would that be? Same thing with this one. Nice. And this one, this is a little tiny address book. I love this. This one will also be fun to create some collages in. This one I have to also fix the spine that's kind of falling apart, but again, it's going to be so fun to, you know, see what I can think of to put over this. I got some little frames, picture frames. Those two and this one, very pretty. I got this cute little vintage swing line stapler and some book plates. And lastly, another, oh, this is a little table runner. I'm also going to cut this up and use it either on the cover of a journal or use them inside some of the pages. And I mean, it's fraying, it's come apart on the bottom too, so I don't feel guilty for cutting this up. It's, you know, it looks like it's already been cut up, so there you go. By far, these are my two favorite pieces. I really love this cookbook and am looking forward to what I can create with it. Now, I wanted to tell you a little bit about the Vintage and Collage Club. This is the club that I have, the membership that I have. What we do is every single month we get a new project and we work on them together. We have an online meet and, you know, we discuss ideas and then come up with the project, you know, what we do. And then there's an opportunity to actually exchange art. So you can sign up a bunch of times to exchange art with other artists, and it's all part of the membership. So anyway, this summer we are doing a kind of a bigger project. We're breaking it down into small pieces, so it's not going to be too huge, and it's spread out over the months of May, June, and July. What we're going to be doing is creating some vintage collages with vintage ephemera and then stacking them on top of each other with some pieces of objects that rust. So rusty nails or hinges or anything that rusts, metal, anything. In addition to that, we're going to be putting some tea in there and then tea dyeing the whole thing, just dunking it in water taking it out, letting it semi-dry, and then slowly opening everything up and setting everything out so that it dries fully. And with those pieces, we're going to be assembling some journals. So, and in addition to that, we'll be exchanging some of those pieces in between. So in May, we are exchanging straight up vintage ephemera. No collage, nothing, just vintage ephemera. In June, we're going to be exchanging probably some of our prepped collages. And then in July, we'll be exchanging the actual tea-dyed collages themselves. So if you're interested in exchanging, there's lots of opportunity. If not, if you just want to create stuff and keep it for yourself and build your own journal, that's great too. It's all up to you. The cool thing is that we're doing this together, kind of like like a summer project, like in a community, in a class, right? So it's there for people to support each other and cheer each other on and show how our pages are turning out and how our journal comes together. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So this is all in my membership. I am going to be closing the doors on this on May the 20th. So join up until then. I'll provide the link below. And I'm closing it because once it's closed, then I'll be able to focus on the new people who've joined and the project itself without having the doors open and more people coming in and wanting to get caught up and all that. So it's just easier if I close it on May the 20th and then we go from there. So I hope you'll check it out. I'll put all the links below. Ask any questions, put them in the comments. Maybe I'll even set up a YouTube live or another video to go over everything. Maybe I'll even show you a little bit what it looks like inside the membership. It's an awesome community, it really is. It's really neat. So, and I want to share that. So actually, that's a good idea. I might make another video about that. Anyway, that's our summer project with lots of vintage ephemera. Check it out. I hope to see you in there.